So in this week's training, we're looking at the EI Practice Advantage. This is about having the benefit of running an emotional intelligence coaching practice. It's all about gaining massive credibility as an emotional intelligence subject matter expert in a way that's going to help you to get more leads that end up being long-term, higher paying clients. And it's certainly something that I've been able to do over the last 10 years now, to set myself apart from all the other noise that's going on out there in the world of coaching. All right, so what we want to do is have a look at a worksheet that I've given you. By the way, if you don't have the worksheet, the workbook, then just put EI in the comments below. If you're watching this on my page already, then you can just click the button and certainly go from there and grab it. All right. So I want to unpack what this advantage is all about. All right. So this is you in the middle with your EI practice, your emotional intelligence practice. And there are three things that we need to have whenever we're wanting to develop a practice of any type. Right? And it's really, really important to have a look at this so that we see how this actually fits in to the context of what it is that we are talking about. So the three things that we want to do is, firstly, we want to entice people. So we want them to be interested in what it is that we're talking about, whether this be, in our marketing, whether we're speaking, whatever we're doing. We need to be able to entice them and get people interested. I know a lot of coaches out there that know a lot of things. And the challenge is it's more exciting to them than it is to anybody else. So they find it challenging for that to translate into the leads, etc. All right. So the second thing we want to do then is we want to actually enlist people. A practice is not a practice unless it's got clients in it, right? So we want to actually enlist people to come on the journey with you. And I'm going to show you how, using emotional intelligence, you can make that a lot more simple and rewarding for you. And the third thing then, and what I believe is the most important, we need to be able to, when we have clients in our programs, we need to be able to equip them so that they can actually make that change from where they are to where they want to go. So there's those three areas that we want to focus on. We want to entice people, we want to enlist them, and then we want to be able to equip them. And I'm going to show you some of the challenges that I see with the coaching and training industry, where people are trying to do these things without what it is I'm talking about today. All right. So firstly, if we're talking about enticing, what I see a lot is coaches out there with absolutely brilliant ideas, skills, desire to help, but they're the best kept secret. No one knows about them. They're constantly posting organically on social media and doing the things that they're doing, but they're not getting a reward for their effort. So the EI Practice Advantage actually is going to help you to stand out. By the way, if you're taking notes and you're going, hey, where do I get that worksheet? And you're on live, then just put EI as a comment and I'll get it to you. If you're watching this on the page, just down under the video, there's a button you can go and get yourself a copy. All right, so to do that, there's two areas that I want to work on, right? So the first area is confidence. Now that confidence is two ways. So it's confidence that the coach has in themselves, as well as the confidence that the market has that they're able to solve their problems. And the second area is credibility. credibility that says this person is different. They've got something that's going to help me. They're going to be able to take me where it is that I want to go. So working out how we entice people so that we stand out requires confidence and it requires credibility. All right, so if we switch gears now and have a look at enlisting. And this was certainly my challenge before I took on this emotional intelligence coaching and training practice that I run now. And that is, enlisting is inconsistent. So it's, ad hoc. Every now and then I get a new client. I'm always looking for that next new client. And it becomes a challenge because you're not making enough income. So therefore, you're not able to get the message out. What the EI practice advantage allows you to do is go from inconsistent to in demand. It's like when a new iPhone comes out. Now, if you're an Android user, just go with the metaphor, right? If it's like, Apple puts out a new product. I can't understand why, even though I use Apple, people line up for days outside the store, even sleep there sometimes so that they're the first to get it, right? That's what demand is all about. So by having a practice that allows you to have a waiting list, to have people who want to work with you, is going to set you apart in terms of how many people you enlist and your income. All right, so the two areas that we want to talk about in there is, firstly, objections. People, for their own reasons, have objections as to why they don't think your program is right for them or that you're right for them. And the second area, and this is a big one, is the offer. And in fact, a well-crafted offer, the irresistible offer as I call it, actually handles most of the objections before they even have them. All right? So the EI practice advantage helps you to overcome objections and have an offer which is irresistible. It's attractive. So the third area is, now we've got them as clients, as I said, it's all about equipping them. And it's all about helping them to make change. Now, a lot of times that change becomes limited, and indeed so does the length of the engagement, because of the fact that, the tools and methodologies are limited for the new coach. And what we want to do with the EI practice advantage, and this is really what helped me, is go from limited to lasting. And to do that by making sure that you have a practice where you can keep people with you for longer. By the way, if any of this is stuff that you're doing right now, I'm not having a go at you about it. I'm just helping you to understand another way that you could think about. I still see a lot of coaches that, have 6 sessions. Well, my challenge with that is that it took that particular person a certain amount of years to that point to get where they're at. And 6 sessions sort of says to me, even though I know that's not what you're thinking, is it's sort of like a little Band-Aid fix. But what I want to do, and I've been able to do with the EI practice advantage, is take people on a journey for 1, 2, 3 years so that they get longer incremental change. All right. So to do that, once again, there's a couple of areas that we want to look at. Firstly, it's about having tools. Having tools that you can use to help your client to get results faster, and tools that they can continue to use even when they're not with you. All right. And the second is the timeline. And I've already talked about that a little bit. And that's all about being able to make sure that the length of time that you have with them is proportionate to the change that they want to make. I believe there are 2 things that we need to have for a great coaching relationship and what it provides, and that is support and accountability. And using support and accountability with the right tools over the right timeline means that people can make massive change. All right, so that's a bit of an overview of the EI Practice Advantage. What I want to do now is just take you through some key principles and ideas that we need to understand so that we can get that advantage. All right, so let's have a look at them now. So the EI Practice Advantage is all about going, okay, all these other coaches are going down here. I'm going to set myself apart. I'm going to stand out, all right? And I'm going to propel my practice using social and emotional intelligence. So the first thing is all about becoming a subject matter authority. In this case, what I've chosen to do and what I help coaches to do and trainers to do is become a subject matter authority in emotional intelligence, indeed social and emotional intelligence, so that you have a particular area of expertise. And this is not a mode of delivery. This is not a method. It's not like, NLP or anything like that. This is authority in a subject matter so that when you speak, people actually understand that you know what you're talking about. Now, unfortunately, a lot of coaching programs talk about emotional intelligence, and indeed I've seen some of the literature and they even talk about it incorrectly. It's a little bit like neuroscience. There's a little bit of smattering here, there, and everywhere, but it's not accurate. But what I'm talking about here is going to that next level and being able to be a subject matter authority. With the work that I do, there are 13 emotional intelligence competences, 13 social intelligence competences, so 26 all up, 30 if you count the 4 quadrants that I work in, 31 if you look at the overall topic. So there's never a time where I run out of things to talk about, to write blogs about, etc. All right, so that's the first one. The second one is all about solving now problems. One of the things that helps you to stand out, one of the things that will help you to not only entice people but enlist them is when you are solving problems of right now. So if we look at the world right now, there is a lot of emotional unrest. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of people feeling certain things that they would rather not feel. There's a lot of people finding it difficult to navigate pandemics and, war and all the things that are going on. So I want to say to you right now, I want to look down the camera and I want to say to you, there is never a better time for me to be doing what I'm doing here to help you to get involved, because we need more social and emotional intelligence coaches in the world. Right? I can't do it all. The coaches that I've worked with and help, they can't do it all. We need more people. So we're solving now problems. And that's really, really important for people when they're investing in a coach. The next thing that we need to do, or we need to talk about, is the credibility. And I want to talk about credibility by proximity. Here's the thing. Going to Harvard Law School doesn't make you a better lawyer, but it creates a perception that you are. Doing a course that's backed by Harvard, having the word Harvard, and not just Harvard, I'm just using this as an example, means that there's an implied credibility that you carry. So credibility by proximity is really, really important when you are building that trust with your market. Okay, so by the way, I didn't get trained in emotional intelligence at Harvard. I'm just using this as an example for you to understand. But what I did is I got trained and certified, and I'm now the master coach trainer for an organization that has credibility. So therefore, my credibility is enhanced by being in that proximity. My coaches who I work with and I help to do what I do, they have that same proximity and get some, inferred, applied credibility by working and having been working with me. For the last 3 years, I've been named the Emotional Intelligence Speaker and Trainer of the Year. And I tell you that not to impress you, but to let you know that that is the credibility that came from the work that I've been doing. So now, not only do I still have the opportunity to keep working with that credibility, those who work with me have the same. All right. The next thing we talked about was tools. So making sure that you've got a ready-made toolkit. I see so many great trainers and coaches out there that don't have any content. They don't have the tools. They only have their one tool, and that is their coaching. And although that's extremely powerful, they know that they want to have, their own tools and their own, worksheets and slides and all those things that they do. They know they want to use, but they don't have the energy or the time or the skill in some places to be able to do that. So having a ready-made toolkit is really, really important. And that certainly helped me because I was able to hit the ground running from day one when I first got certified as a social emotional intelligence coach. In fact, I remember one of the tools that I now give that was given to me was a PowerPoint presentation, and I started my program on the Friday. The following Tuesday, I presented just using that. I still didn't know everything, but the following Tuesday, I presented to a particular organization using that, and I booked tens of thousands of dollars worth of work in my first week. Now, I'm not saying that happens for everyone. I want you to just understand the power of me not having to wait until I could get those things together myself. All right. And the second point around that is to structure your learning in a way that you can actually continue to be learning whilst you are earning. So just like I did, what I'm able to do now is set things up for coaches and trainers who work with me so that they can earn an income while they're learning. I always remember a beautiful client of mine by the name of Paula, and she was doing the program that I'm going to talk about in a moment, and we were sort of like halfway through it into this 8-week program, and she was an action taker. So she went out there and she didn't wait until everything was done. She got started and started working. And she actually had, I think it was 3 new clients that she'd got. And one of those in particular, she had booked in over $10,000 worth of new work before she'd even finished the program. All right. So there's an opportunity to earn while you learn. By the way, these notes are all here. If you haven't got a copy of them yet, then let me know in the comments below. Just put EI and I'll get it to you. If you're watching this on my page, then down below there's a button. If you're on YouTube, there's a link that you can get a copy of these worksheets. All right, so just before I go, and as I said, it's a little bit different what I'm doing today. I want to talk to you very quickly about an opportunity for anyone who wants to find out about a certification program to become a social and emotional intelligence certified coach and trainer, just like I have been, and to be able to take that EI practice advantage and go out and get way more benefit in terms of the ability to entice people, enlist them, and equip them so that you can have a greater influence, you can make more income, and make a bigger impact in your world. So if you are interested in finding out more about that, I've got a couple of information sessions coming up in the next week, and you can register for those and it'll take you through, I'll step you through everything that you need to know to make an informed decision as to whether or not now is the time for you to become certified in social and emotional intelligence. So if you are watching this live and you want the details for the registration, just put the word details. I'm really simple. I try to think up new words all the time, but details are fine. If you're watching this on my page, just hit reply to any of the emails and ask for the details, and I will get those to you so that you can register and you can find out what all this fuss is about with this social and emotional intelligence certification. All right, so that's it for this training. Let me know what your insights are. Let me know what it is that you're going to do with this. And I'd love to see you in one of the information sessions where you're going to be able to find out exactly what to do to become certified and to have that emotional intelligence practice advantage. All right, I'll see you soon.